Bhushan, your sound is not coming.
Right? So can we go to the next slide, please? So when it comes to management, we generally find different setup of management. What I would like to say is the management needs a coach to run a pool, but we as coaches, we need a pool to run our training program. So in that case, we need to mutually understand and go forward. There will be a different views and ideas from management and the coaching staff, but we need to get together to get going forward. So here, we absolutely need their cooperation and support for us to be together and be successful. So, and as coaches, we all know that we like to be on the deck with the swimmers. Competition training is most important for us. So along with that, what we also need to plan is the learn to swim for kids, adults, school swimming, weekend program, and master swimming depending on the space available, and keep the pool occupied the entire day so that there is more revenue generated so that the pool can sustain by itself. By doing this, you also be successful and the management will start trusting you and they'll support you in all the ways you want to be. These are the challenges. I would not say there's a problem. Ultimately, see, the management needs money to run the pool. That's it. And we go to the next slide. That is the infrastructure. Yes, here. And we all know that not all the pools are available at all the times for coaching. So there is a lot of restrictions, limited pool access, stipulated time. And when you have this, you need to plan your schedule accordingly so that there's no issue for you to train, right? And you also have to plan in such a way that take swimmers as much space you have and as much as you can. That is one of the issues we have. The other one is the water clarity. Generally, the most of the pools are able to maintain the clarity really well these days. And when it comes to summer, it's a challenge for us to manage the water clarity due to the increase in the load. The only way to keep it clean is to run the filtration plant for a little more hours or run it throughout the day. And the maintenance staff, the administration, the facility manager, they all have to work together in tandem with the coaches. So as a coach, you need to schedule your plan, share it with the facility manager so that the lanes are fixed and the pool is ready for use. And also you need to appreciate the efforts of the maintenance staff and also provide them some form of incentive so that they also get motivated. And the other challenges we have is most of the pools do not have the lane ropes. They do not have the pace clocks. They do not have the backstroke indicators, without which it will become very difficult for a coach to manage. Imagine if you want to be on par with your district level kids, state level kids, and the national level kids, you should have the similar facilities like others are having. I would say lane ropes, backstroke indicator, pace clock are very important for a pool. And we can't expect everything out of every facility. And you have to really work with what you have and where you are and yet get the best out of your program. So can we go to the next slide? Yeah, maintenance stuff, we're done with that. The next one. Yeah, coaching, the coaches. Here we find a different set of coaches. One is there are freelancers, club coaches, independent coaches, and then we have part-timers, and we have coaches working with the government and the coaches working with the aquatic centers. So I would like to I'm talking about the challenges we face as coaches, right? So I'm also going to give you some of the tips how I manage at my pool, right? So here, when it comes to the club coaches, um, it's a leisure program, recreation clubs. It's a parent dominated. At this particular places, the coaches find it very difficult to manage because they are under tremendous pressure for performance from the parents. They in turn tell the coaches what to do and what not to do in the training program. So this way, they will not be able to work with freedom. They will not be able to get any cooperation and support from the management. So, right. When it comes to the part-timers generally don't give 100% because this is their second source of income. So I would prefer that we have a regular coach, or if you want to have part-timers, best to have is students or former swimmers so that they can give their best. Right. So government coaches, the challenges they face is they will not be able to establish a program because of the um, because it's a transferable job. So, and when it comes to the coaches who are working at the aquatic centers, for example, like we have a center in Bangalore, I'm leading the team as a head coach. What I want from each and every coach is we want them to be updated with the knowledge. They should be knowing what's happening at the latest, at the current scenario in the world level, and attend clinics, learn from them, talk to the senior coaches, do some internship program, learn from the internet, ask your seniors, ask your friends of what's happening. But again, I would say without a knowledge, you will be limited. You will not be able to excel, nor you will be successful. And attending clinics, taking courses just for the sake of certification will not be enough. Learning alone is not enough if you can't deliver it in the practice with passion. And every time you go to the pool and you finish your training session, ask yourself a question. Did I do a good job today? Right? And the discipline, punctual regularity is not only for swimmers, it is for even the coaches too. And discipline. So for example, the way you are on the pool deck is most important. And you're not disciplined enough, your swimmers will follow you. And if you're not coming to the pool well in time, for example, you have a session at 5 in the evening and you're there at 5:05 and you have the swimmers to be on time, it doesn't look good. So being there on time is very essential. And at the same time, you have to be regular for the practices. You can't miss any practices. And this I've seen with most of the coaches. If the session begins at 5 o'clock, they reach at the gate at 5 o'clock, which is not good. I want them to be on the deck at least by 4:45. And behavior, you are watched all the times, right from the administration to the swimmers to the parents. Your behavior on the deck with the swimmers is very, very important. And I generally say that junior coaches find it difficult sometimes. They have the seniors coming up and telling what to do, what not to do on the deck. And this is not good. If you have a plan, have your junior coaches sitting together, talk to them on a weekly basis, plan accordingly of what you want to achieve for that particular week in terms of skill or training, right? And generally coaches take it very easy. They just think it's a job, they're doing it for the salary. I would say it is not that. You're dealing with the kids, and which is so important. You're teaching kids something for the life. So best is anything you do, you have to be responsible. Anything you do, you have to be accountable for what you are doing, right? And aligning for the objective. Aligning for the objective is we have in management, the head coaches align to their objective, the junior coaches align to the head coach's objective. What I say is everything flows down. We need to be in line to the management and the program. So what you want to achieve for a particular group or a season in terms of skill or training is very important. And these are the challenges we face from the junior coaches or the other coaching staff. And when it comes to swimmers, say, okay, so we have one thing here. I would say there are a lot of coaches who get success under 12. Under 12. In this case, what happens is they think that they know everything. They know everything, and they start behaving like head coaches, and they want to have their own program, and they don't. They think know everything. See, the under 12 success comes because the children are growing and exposed for training, and they will improve with any form of training, any kind of training. The challenge is you have to get the swimmers faster when they are 15 and above. That is a challenge of a coach, right? So can we go to the next slide, please? Swimmers. Yeah. Swimmers, we have two sets of swimmers. One, I would call it as hardworking ones, and the other one as not so hardworking. I don't call them as lazy ones, but I call them as not so hardworking. But they're all talented, but they just don't want to swim harder in the practice. So here, hardworking kids are very easy to train, and they make your life very, very easy and simple. It looks like, oh, coaching is simple and great. Anybody can become a coach and be successful. And this is how the hardworking kids make look like. And not so hardworking kids are tough to coach. They wish to swim faster, but they don't have the will to train harder. Make hardworking a habit and a culture on your team. Swimmers should know that you are very friendly outside the water, and also should know that you will not compromise in training. Be tough, make your swimmers tough mentally and physically. And see, ultimately, as coaches, you all look forward for performance in the competitions. And how you manage your swim team is very, very important for you. And you have to teach your swimmers to respect each and everyone on the team. Create a team bonding. Have outings once in a while, take them for a picnic, and have some dryland games, have some water games, and make sure that they all cheer for their teammates when they're racing and be a part of their success. And at the same time, there are a couple of senior swimmers generally avoid and they keep away from juniors. Teach and tell them that juniors look at them as role models and try to follow whatever they do. And ask the senior swimmers to help the juniors probably after the practice to teach them turns or starts or something like that. So this way, you're creating a team bonding and everyone starts respecting each other. And I recently heard a coach telling, you should have 1,000 keys in your pocket and should be able to find the right key for every swimmer. This is how an experienced coach can think of. It's not that you can apply the same rules, same formula, same workout for everyone. You should be able to find out the right formula for each swimmer and get the best out of each swimmer. Yeah. And we come across the motivational factor with the swimmers, and this leads to quitting the sport. And there are many factors to it. What I would like to say is, see, for example, we have a couple of them. I would say a kid who is 10-year-old already has the national record in his name. And what motivates for him to swim for the next year? Because it is the same training. It's the same training. There's no change. There's no fun. And there's another kid who is 15-year-old, has been swimming for the last 6-7 years, has no medal. What motivates for him to swim at the age of 15? And there's no fun in the practice, and it becomes boring. And a lot of school friends having fun outside, and these guys are just practicing day in and day out. And most of the kids are not improving. These are the challenges you face. But as a coach, you have to sit and talk to them and find out what is the best way forward and keep them motivated to come back to the pool again. right? Yeah. When we come to the discipline factor, discipline is a very important factor for a team. Discipline, punctual, and regularity, without which you'll not be able to reach your goal or your potential as an individual. So I would not say that discipline is not standing in attention and saying yes, sir, to anything the coaches say. It is just that paying attention when a coach explains the workout and giving instructions on what they expect from that particular session, without which it will become difficult for a coach to complete the practice effectively. If the coach becomes too friendly, then the swimmers take it easy and the team will not perform well. This is for the age groupers. Senior swimmers are different. They take responsibility of what they do and are serious in training. I would say discipline first and champion next, right? So, yeah. And when it comes to punctual, um, most of the kids, they take it easy. I know that the traffic all over the country is not good. They tend to come sometimes late. Coming late once in a while is fine, but not every day. Every day you come 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes late, that irritates a coach also. And at the same time, and why can't they be on time in the practice for the early morning sessions? Absolutely they can. Being on time for practice or school is very important. It teaches the value of time for life. Coming late for the practice, you may miss out on some important instructions given before the session begins. So we tell them, we brief them about the particular session. If you miss on, you miss it out. Yeah. And next come the regular. Being regular, the practice is very important. Missing practices will lead to underperformance in a competition. Here, most of them think that, okay, fine, I have a competition. I have a competition the next 4 weeks to go. I can be regular now. It's not that. Your coach has a program for you. It may be anywhere between, say, 4 months to 8 months or a year. So that there's a process of training. You cannot say that I'm going to miss a couple of sessions and then still be faster. Okay? Right. So it is best to be present for all the practices. And we have another big challenge is the kids shifting from one club to the other. And shifting from one club to the other is a very common phenomenon these days. It is very difficult to keep them satisfied. One bad meet and they want to shift. So most of the, it includes the parents too in this. And they think, okay, something's not going good for me here. Why not I change the club and train with some other coach so that I can become faster? So no coaches want their kids to swim slow or lose the race. Everyone tries their best. And it's just that how much you have given the practice is more important. Okay. And we're coming to the other, I would say this is a challenge with the dryland training. And I would say this is one of the bigger challenges we are facing in these days. Most of the kids prefer their own trainer, though we have one at the pool. And the dryland trainer does his own things in the gym without knowing what a swim coach wants him to do. And at the same time, swimmer comes to the pool and says, sir, my dryland coach said today I have to swim an easy swim. I want to do a recovery swim. And that is not done. Dryland coach needs to consult the coach and then design a program according to the swimmer's requirement. And most of the dryland trainers are not on the pool deck to see what happens in the practice. We will have 40 kids plus training in the practice. When it comes to performance, the coach is the only person who is responsible. If a swimmer does well, everyone wants to take the credit, and if swimmer doesn't do well, then the blame is on the coach. For example, a child who was swimming 102 for a 100 butterfly and could do 25 push-ups in 30 seconds. After 6 months, he is able to do 40 push-ups in 30 seconds, but he's still going a 102 in a 100 butterfly. Please remember, yeah, it's good to spend time in the gym to get stronger and fitter and everything else, but along with that, you need to get faster too. Trust me, most of the things, if you want to get faster, most of the workouts has to be done in the water. Similar things happen with the nutritionists too. They all just give a chart which to be followed without knowing the volume and the intensity and which phase we are going towards. Yeah. Yesterday, we had a speaker talk about there is no specific training on the dry land, on the land, pertaining to swimming training. But I would say that there's something called as VASA trainer and a VASA ergometer. They are very close to swim training. Exactly the same muscles involved when you swim. VASA ergometer especially is like a treadmill for swimmers. You can try it out. You can see the online videos about that. I've heard in the US, most of the people or swimmers, when they're not able to go to the sessions for various reasons, they actually do the training on the VASA trainers. Yeah, okay. And so here we go to the next point, the swimmer's attitude and their mindset during the meets. Sometimes we have swimmers swimming 2 events on the same day. They perform one moderate and one fast. I say, why? If you can't swim 2 events, then why did you choose 2? When you can train 10 to 12 kilometers a day, why can't you race 2 events back to back? You had a circular beforehand to choose. And we have come across swimmers not giving their best in the relays because they have finals. And don't take 5 events for the sake of it. If you are good at 3, take those 3 and excel, rather than taking 5 and doing an average job. The other thing is, swimmers not reporting for the medal ceremony. After having worked so hard, so much, for so long for the success, please don't let the victorious moment go. Adhere to the rules of the competition. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So most of the support staff, I would say, is like the physios or the dryland trainers or the psychologists or the nutritionist. They all think the swim coaches are their enemies. It's not that. We definitely appreciate their effort. It makes our job much easier if they can actually do their job with consultation. If you can see this image, it clearly says that it is a coach-driven swimmer-centric program. You have a swimmer in the middle, everything is centered towards them. The coach is not just active on the deck 2 hours a day. He will be thinking about the swimmers and the training program throughout the day. Anyway, anytime we think of something, we simply get up again, make a note of it. So similarly, we have all the 4 support staff training with the team, and I'm sure how many will have in-house. At least dryland trainers should be a part of the swim team. I prefer that they are in-house itself. So can we go to the next slide? So there's a small, I don't call it as a chat. This is the current scenario of the Indian swimming. We have a lot of kids at the age of 10 who have a national record. They're all pepped up and they've been pushed too hard too early. Without working on the technique, they just push on the speed. Under 10, they are the national record holders. When it comes to under 12, they become national medalists. And after that, they start losing motivation, but for some reason, they continue to swim. And at 14 years of age, they are just finalists. And for I don't know, they just come to socialize at the pool. By the time they become 17, they're just participants at the state meet and the national levels. This is not we want exactly. Uh, can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. See, if you look at this, this is what we exactly want. We want under 10 kids to learn a good technique on all the four strokes, learn how to dive properly, learn all the turns, legal turns, and learn to do a good underwater and have fun in the practice. This is what we want them to do when they're 10. And when they become 12, we want them to improve the skills which they learned when they were under 12 and develop their aerobic capacity and compete in small meets like inter-club meets, inter-school meets, or swim galas. And when they become 14 years old, we want them to develop overall training abilities, right from aerobic to anaerobic to lactate and everything else, and also start looking at the your state meet on the nationals. And this is the most crucial age for a swimmer, 17 and above. Here, this is what we want the kids to do. We want them to develop overall, right from their stroke, physically, mentally, in every aspect. And this is the only way we can retain swimmers, so that we have some swimmers who can swim for India in between the age of 18 and 24. So this small chart which I thought of, this also shows us how we can easily retain and train athlete for a longer goals, long-term goals. Can we have the next one, please? Yeah. So when it comes to parents, I'm sure most of you will relate to your one of the days which you have gone through. And the parents, I would say, they're the most important for a swim team and one of our major stakeholders. Here, we find two sets of parents. One set of parents, they just come to the pool, drop their kids at the center, and don't even know what's happening. But I think that's not right. Once in a while, sit at the practice. Make it once a week at least. Sit at the practice, see how your child trains. And here comes the other set of parents. And here, they want to know each and every details of training. Just by reading some books and getting some information on the internet, they think they know everything. Parents look at only their kid. But as coaches, we have to look at the entire team and manage everyone. And the parents start teaching the coach what to do and what not to do. They start comparing their kids with others. They start questioning the coach. Why is my child not in that lane? Why is my child not swimming breaststroke or butterfly? Why is my child not doing long distance? Why is, why is not my child not swimming individual medley? And what I would say is, see, parents have to have the trust on the coach. And once in a while, come and meet them to find out. They have all the right to come and find out, but not on a regular basis. And when it's required, yes, you can. Parents must have the trust in the coach and allow them to work without interference. And what I say is, if they're not happy, it's better that they leave and look for a program which suits them, right? So this is the challenge you face. But how do you manage this is, how I manage, I'll tell you this. You have quarterly meetings with them. This is to inform them about your plans for the season and what we want to achieve as a team, right? And at the same time, have one-to-one meetings with the parents and the kids to set goals and target times depending on their ability to choose events which are appropriate for them for the upcoming state trials. So this should take care of them. And they have high expectations. And generally, parents think that just by being with a faster swimmer, their kid will also swim faster. Same coach, same pool, same same lane, same workout will have different results. We need to tell parents that each child is unique and not everyone can be champions. But we help every child to reach their potential. Coaches are coaches, they're not magicians. Tell them your plans and show them that you care, and they'll be fine with you. And cooperation from the parents. I told in the beginning, we definitely require their cooperation. We need their help in conducting a competition as volunteers, and sometimes to raise funds. Yeah, and so there's a simple quote which is from an ASCA book. It says, "No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care." It's so simple as that. And it's not about how many certificates or awards or rewards you won, but it all depends on how well you treat the swimmer. Yeah. Uh, can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. And we have another challenge here. See, this is not in our control. What I say is the things which are in our control could be managed well, and things which are not can be still managed better with your own experience. So I would say um, the weather conditions, they are extreme in the northern part of our country, northern India. They hardly have about 4 to 5 months of training in a year. They shut down the pool in the month of October, and they open in the month of March, and they merely have about, say, about 8 weeks of training. But still, they can get the best out of them. In these cases, we can't help much. You can see the similar conditions are happening in the other countries too, but still they're able to manage. The only way is if you can have your own, if you can have an indoor pool where it can be shared with different clubs, which is not easy. Yeah. Say the other is the humid weather condition. This is I was in Mumbai for 4 years, and I've seen um, the district meets happen right in the middle of May, which is terribly hot, right? So before this, in the training, what generally I do is early mornings are quite pleasant. What you can do is the majority of the best quality workouts could be done in the mornings, and evenings for it is quite hot. What you can do is you can do some low intensity workouts, drill, kick, pull, or some skills like that in the afternoons, right? During meets, during competitions, if it's a really hot condition, it is no point in actually swimming a 1500 or 2000 meters for the warm up. The best is to simply go by what your gut says. I give them just about 800 or 1000 meters of nice, easy swim drills, and nothing hard. We are going for a competition. Trust me, they're already warmed up because of the weather condition. They just have to be in the water for a while to swim the race. Here, I have to share two things which I've come across. First one is, um, I would tell this as Mumbai weather again in the month of May. And these days, the racing suits have become a very prominent part of your career. So a kid there's a no warm-up pool. And what happens here is the kid finishes the warm-up at 7 in the morning, and the event comes up something like 11. And the kid will take at least about 15 minutes to put the suit on with the help of a parent. Okay. And it is so exhausted after putting the suit. It's like coming out of a workout. In these cases, why do you want to actually have a racing suit if you can actually swim the competition with a regular V-cut suit? And when I say this, I thought of trying with I thought of trying a kid who did not want I did not want them to swim. I prefer no racing suit till 12 or 13. I thought of having a kid going for a competition without a racing suit. Um, say a 12-year-old whose 50-meter backstroke is 36 seconds. If the kid went faster by 1 second, say for example, if the kid went 35 seconds, the parent would come and say, oh, if she wore a swimsuit, a racing suit, she would have gone much faster. And if the same kid, instead of 36, did 37, 1 second slower, they would blame us saying that because she didn't wear the racing suit, she went slower. So this becomes a controversial. And here in these cases, I think you can educate the parents, but ultimately you leave the decision to them, right? Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. When we go to the competition venue, this is another challenge we face as coaches. See, we're all prepared for this. Not all the facilities are in the best conditions, but still they are yet up to the mark. And not all the cities are accessible easily. Competition, when it comes to competition venue, it's held in a different city, and not all the kids afford to go by flight and stay in hotels. There are a lot of teams to go by trains and live in the accommodations provided by the organizers. As a coach, we need to make sure that the team arrives well in advance and get acclimatized for the weather conditions in that particular city. So one is that. And second thing is food. We are so used to our regular diets. Any little bit of changes, kids feel that, oh, something is not good in my stomach, I will not be able to swim faster. So instead of complaining, carry your own light snacks, whatever is good for you from your city, and make sure that you carry enough spare of caps, swimsuits and goggles, and your energy drink. So yeah, the other challenges I have to say about the warm down pool. If you look at these days, I would say at least in the last 10 years, we have been having the nationals where there is a place for the warm down. If not the warm down pool, there is some space for the warm down. Okay. And for example, if you think that there's no warm down pool, but there's still a lot of things could be done. You ask your swimmers to come out immediately, do some stretching, do some TheraBand exercises, have some cold pack, do some mobilization exercises with your shoulder, trunk rotation, and just relax and do some breathing relaxation. That should be fine. And managing between heats and finals. See, this is not new for us, and we have been doing this for so many years. We all go prepared for the nationals to race heats and finals. Well, there are some states conduct state trials as heats and finals. For example, Karnataka. Make sure that you leave the pool soon after your events, have early lunch, try and get some sleep, but do not try anything new. Stick to your routine, like your eating and resting time, so that the body is used to it and swimmers don't feel the lethargic during finals. What I mean to say is, see, generally during the practice sessions, we ask the kids to sleep after the practice. When you go for a competition, generally the heats are over by around 11 o'clock and the finals start again at 4. Best is to go back and don't set to a routine where you don't sleep at your racing hour. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And the back-to-back events, it's very common. Most of our swimmers will have back-to-back events, and I'm sure you would have trained them accordingly. As soon as the first event is over, quickly warm down, have your snacks, lie down if you have a chance, and relax with some breathing techniques so that you recover faster for the next event. So the next slide, please. Yeah. This is, we'll come to the last slide. So in personal life, the challenges is, see, as a coach, you should be able to manage. When you come on the deck, you know that you're a professional. You can't show any other things, whatever is happening in life on the deck. So we all go through tough situations in our personal life. But as a professional, how you manage the pool on deck during training is important. You can't yell or scream at your swimmer because you had a fight at home. You can't shout at swimmers because you're struggling with your finances. You can't show anger at your swimmers because you're not keeping well and they're not doing a good job in the practice. So you really have to manage well if you want to be successful. Right. So can we have the next slide, please? So here's a small quote. To be great is necessarily to be outside the ordinary. So if you want to get better, if you want to get faster than what you were, you definitely have to do what you did, do better than what you did yesterday. It's very simple as that. And my philosophy is to create an environment that encourages athletes to learn, develop, and perform during and after the sporting career. So this is the end of my presentation. I would prefer the questions related to, say, swimmers, parents, and coaches. The other things, I think it depends on your own situations and locations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhushan, for a very nice session. Let us find some question, and we are going to put some relevant question to you. Okay, here comes the first question. What do you advise for the coaches who keep jumping from one club to the next club for their personal benefit? What are your thoughts on that?
See, there's a simple saying, rolling stones never gain mass. They say it's very simple. If you keep on jumping from one club to the other, ultimately after 10 or 15 years, you realize that you haven't learned anything. Please trust me. It's not about question of money. Yes, we all need money to run our families, to live life. But the most important thing is, if you want to be successful, if you want to be a great coach, please spend some time with one of the senior experienced coaches and stick to one club at least for minimum 5 to 6 years. Unless if there's any serious issues to that particular place.
Thank you, Bhushan. This has been asked by Sundaresh. Now he got one more question. What is your advice for the coaches who never get their due identification for his or her hard work and result, but all the credit taken by the head coach?
See, this is a very common phenomenon. This happens everywhere. But trust me, like I told you in the beginning, whether you are a junior coach or an assistant coach or a senior coach, your recognition credits will definitely be given. But there's something called as patience. You'll have to wait for some time. And we have been working for the last 32 years. Trust me, is not that it didn't happen anything shortly. It has taken that much time for everyone. Please have patience.
Thank you. Monil sir, would you like to point some questions?
I was just looking at some of these questions. Since this can fall under a challenge category, somebody is asking, not all facilities and coaches have the novelty of sports scientists and sports science support in their program. And parents are not all parents can pay extra to have private nutrition or physio or sports strength and conditioning support. So can you advise or give any tips for one-man army coaches to do justice to in their program?
Oh yeah, it's a good question. If you look at, say, 20 years before in India, we did not have a nutritionist, we did not have a dryland trainer. The coach used to take care of everything. You remember, we still had some good swimmers, we still broke national records, which lasted for 20 years. And like, if your question is like this, then I would say that most of the coaches who are training currently are in the age groupers. Age groupers, I would say that a coach should be able to manage a little bit of dry land. I know that not all the coaches or parents can afford a hefty amount of fees for different uh, sections, but it's just that, but still, with little bit of knowledge and some training, a coach should be able to manage the dry land training too.
Okay, thank you. There's one more question where a coach is saying, from the parents' point of view, their only measure of success is winning medals. So how do we handle such parents, and how to measure the development of swimmers in the age group?
Okay. See, we generally do testing sets. It may be monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly. But please tell them when I don't accompany the team, when my swimmers call me, sir, my race is over, I won a gold medal. I tell them, please don't tell me about your gold medal. I want to know your time. And please tell the parents and the swimmers, it's not about the medals. If they're improving, I think recently someone spoke about it. If somebody had a best time of 1 minute 10 seconds for 100 freestyle and did a 107 and came fourth, you must be happy about it. That means there are a lot of kids improving and your kid has improved too. Don't measure, don't measure performance by winning medals. You please realize that improving time is very important.
Thank you. There is a question on from someone who is asking, what should be the knowledge of a coach who will look after the age group team? As a head coach, what do you look for in a good age group coach?
Right. See, my suggestion is, I've done my ACA certification. Trust me, there are hundreds of books. If a coach wants to be an age group coach, a good coach, ASCA level 1, level 2, level 3 are great stuff. Foundation school, stroke school, and physiology. If you can read this much, even understand 50% of it, you can become a great coach. And beyond that, if you are young enough, if you have if you can afford it, you can still take up the NS diploma and a lot of other online courses. But please do not stop learning. You can learn from your colleague, you can learn from your seniors, and the best teachers are your own swimmers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not too sure whether this question is coming from a coach or a parent, but the question is addressed to coaches getting gifts from some certain parents. So how should a coach not get influenced by freebies from parents, and it could lead to kind of partial treatment to, or perceived partial impartial treatment to others?
Yeah, see, this is very ethics. It's as a principal, you have to, we don't care of your personal life, what happens outside the swimming coaching stuff. But when you are on the deck, you are a professional. You have to treat each and every kid the same, irrespective of the social status of each and every child, whether they come in a Mercedes or a simple two-wheeler. You have to make sure that each and every child reaches their potential, and not to see, I'm sure each and every coach will have the favorites, but we don't favor any of the swimmers. This is what I would like to say.
Partha, have you?
Yeah, I have. I'll just take some. Yeah, I want to see some relevant questions actually.
Yeah.
There are a few questions though.
This one, while you're looking for some, I'll take this one.
Sure,
as a head coach, how do we build a team culture in our team, and how important it is? And can you give some examples of how to build a team culture?
See, ultimately, why do the kids come to the pool? Trust me, they spend minimum 20 hours with the coach. That's minimum I'm talking about, other than dryland training, right? So you will know that particular kid more than the parents and the school teacher. So here, when they come to pool, they should not be forced to the pool. They should come to the pool with interest on their own. So this way, what you can do is motivate them, have fun in training, gather them, talk to them, and talk to each and everyone as an individual. At least check them, how you're feeling, what did you do at the school today, what did you have to eat, and as a personal relationship. So this way, they feel that, yes, they feel that I belong to the center and coach likes me a lot. And once in a while, take them out for a picnic, or uh, or have some fun games in the practice. This way, you can actually build a team bonding.
Okay, one question. Parents' support to the child is must, of course. But sometimes parents get too involved in coaching also, and they put pressure on kids. How do you think the child is going to tackle this, and how as a coach you're going to help the child to tackle this?
See, I can give you 100 examples. See, it depends again. If you are a club coach, if you are a club coach where it's a recreation club coach, then you have no choice. You have to definitely listen to them because they're the members. If you don't listen to them, your job is under threat. You'll be thrown out. So there you can't do much. But if you're working in an aquatic center like ours, and here the coaches are the sole decision makers. In these cases, we call a particular parent, tell them, please stick to your responsibility. You play a role of a parent. The rest we will take care of. And also at the same time, the kids, what they do is they go back home and start lying about the practice. For example, say if we did a 8 200s practice on 3 minutes 30 seconds, holding the best effort, if the kid was doing 245 and it goes and tells I was doing 237, 238 because it was scared to tell the parent what actually happened. So this is what you have to create and tell the parent, please do not interfere into the coaching matter. We are here to manage the kids. But this depends on how knowledgeable you are and how experienced you are. This way, the coaches will actually take a backseat.
Thank you. There's another question from Nihal Saxena. Where there's a, how do you establish a common platform of coaching philosophy between the head coach and the assistant coach in different style of coaching?
See, there should be no clash of interest. Ultimately, see, what do we want as team of coaches? You tell me, what do we want as team of coaches? We want our team to win. We want our swimmers to do well. We want our swimmers to win and break records. And here, you have someone called as a head coach. His job is to make sure that not only he's training his group, but also to get all the coaches together. This See, at my place I give a lot of credits, freedom to the junior coaches. I give them all the freedom to try out something new. I want the younger and junior coaches to be very creative, not just do what I say. Ultimately what happens is if I keep interfering to the junior coaches, when things don't go well, they said, sir, I did what you told me and this is what it happened. So I would say is give them the freedom, but again they should be held responsible of what they do.
Agree. As a head coach, what is your advice for the swimmers and parents come on their own to the competition venue and do not involve the other team members? Don't you think it will hamper the total team spirit?
Absolutely, that is not at all accepted. Those cases, I don't think we should have those parents like on the team. They should be a part of the team. The parents will bring the swimmers to the venue, sit in the gallery, and they should leave the kids to the coaches. The coach's job is to manage the entire team. Here, there should not be disparity. The entire coaching staff, whether you travel with the 20 swimmers or 2 swimmers, you should be present there even before the kids arrive to the pool and make sure that the parent knows about it. If the parents start interfering, tell them this is the last time they come on the deck. or else next time they will not be allowed to train with the team when they go back home.
Thank you, Bhushan. Monal sir, any question you managed to chalk out?
Yeah, I think the previous question was more in context to traveling to meets, Bhushan.
Yeah.
And I think the person asking the question is saying that
without a coach, is it?
No, traveling to meets individually, independently, and
Okay.
then not being part of the team, and being too much on their own instead of being part of the team at meets, especially the national meets or state meets where you need to travel away from home.
Okay. See, generally, if there are one or two kids got selected and the center cannot afford, those centers cannot afford, only the parents take the child to this for a competition, then the coach will definitely suggest what to be done. In those cases, the parent can definitely go on the deck and take care of the child. That's not an issue at all. That's not an issue at all. And if the parents are hesitant, you can ask one of your friend coaches to ask them to help the kids to take the warm up. I sometimes ask my fellow coaches, or most of the time I've been asked, my friend coaches, Bhushan, can you take my swimmer? I'm not at the pool. I'm not at the venue. I do that. Did I answer the question?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, Bhush.
Fine.
So one question relevant to day-to-day issues of coaches. It says parents whose kid do not perform in practice, they start blaming the coaches for not handling the kid.
Yeah.
How can we handle it? How can we tackle it?
See, I think I told this in the beginning. And the only person who is responsible for performance is a coach. When it comes to performance, everyone takes the credit. When it's a blame, then it's only the coach. But in this case, what I say is, not everyone can become champions. One kid's potential 1 minute, maybe somebody else's potential is only 1 minute 10 seconds. You cannot expect the same. I have come across so many parents like this. They think just by adding 2 plus 2 is 4. That's not in swimming. Every child has its own potential, and it's not about the money spent on the kid. It's not about the time spent on the kid.
Thank you.
Another question, again on day-to-day things, how to manage parents who encourage their kids to see YouTube videos on drills and various other technique, etc., and ask to follow the steps, therefore decreasing the importance of the is trying to practice.
Okay.
The coach is asking how to manage such situations.
Okay. I have absolutely no problem in watching the videos, but following the same thing happens in the videos is not right. I actually recommend my swimmers. I tell them, watch a 200 butterfly from the NCAA championship, watch the 200 backstroke from that meet, this meet and all. But when it comes to skills, drills and everything else, we do at the pool, and the direction has to come from one person, that's the coach, not from a YouTube or some other coach sitting elsewhere or the parent.
One question is regarding parents meeting.
Yeah.
So the coach want to know how frequently we should do a coach-parent meeting. What are the topic mainly to be discussed, and what are the topic to be avoided?
Okay.
In the parents meeting.
Okay. See, we generally do a parent meeting once in 3 months. It is very clearly said, March, June, September, December. March, just before we start our season for the state meet and the nationals. June, that is soon after the nationals, to just have a review. And again, third one is just before the school games or the senior nationals. And December, after all the meets are over. What you do, what you talk about is, you talk about your kids and you talk about your general plan, how you want to do it, how you want to start the season, how many sessions you want to start in a week. Okay, I'll start at 5 sessions in a week, go on to 6, then go to 8, go to 10, and stay on 10. These are the things you can talk to them and talk them about the points of their own kids where they need to improve, and in general, talk them about your um, structure plan for a competition, and you can share a bit about what is training. What is training in the sense, generally, so for example, if I want a kid to do a 20 hundreds on 130, why is it done? That much you can tell, but you cannot go in detail, so that when they sit and watch, they also know that the kid is not up to the potential, and they cannot simply start comparing with another. Is that right? We do a quarterly meetings for that, and one-to-one meetings when things are not going right with the Suma. When things are not going right, I call them immediately. When things are fine, that's absolutely good. We go on. When the child is not doing well, we immediately call the parent, have a meeting, find out what's happening. Is the child sleeping well, eating right? Is something wrong at home? Did the mother or father shout? And we tell them, please do not talk about swimming at home. We will take care of it. Yeah.
So one question is like this, and a coach have asked this, that training of swimmer become useless at this point because of coronavirus. I would rather say it's an opportunity for us to gather more knowledge. So what do you think, what is per your suggestion, a coach who is to do day-to-day coaching, and since they're not doing it in terms of coronavirus,
Yeah.
what they should be doing at this point, and what are your suggestion to coaches in this
Yeah.
point?
Trust me, whoever asked this question, I want to be on the deck today evening. Okay, unfortunately, and if you look at this last 15, 16 days, that's a fantastic. Look at this, 700 coaches coming together, a lot of knowledge sharing. And even if you know everything, but there's still something to learn from every coach, at least one thing. Okay, that's so nice. And you have a lot of opportunities. You become fit. You talk to your group. What we are doing is currently we are posting a group on the on the Zoom sessions. We talk to them. We have challenges every Saturday evening. Say skipping for 20 seconds, maximum skippings, or plank challenge, something like this. You keep yourself busy. Please don't think that this is the time wasted. And trust me, if the kids are uh, doing their job, if they're following the daily routine of the dryland training, what you have suggested, when they come back to the practice, they can be in shape in about 4 weeks, back to shape, I would say, without gaining much of weight. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Monal sir, would you like to chat about any question in this regard?
Yeah. So we have somebody asking that since the technical training is the primary responsibility of the coach, maybe the head coach, assistant coach, particular club.
Right.
The question is, do you think that apart from in-pool training, what is the importance of theory training, video streaming with whiteboard, etc., to the swimmers? Do you think that also plays an important role in teaching the kids and the swimmers about the right way to do things, about workouts and energy systems, etc., to increase the swimmers'
Yeah.
knowledge? Or
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
only in-pool training that is
No,
important?
no. We definitely have to educate the swimmers too. It's so important, not for the younger ones. Younger ones, they just have to be spoken in very simple language, which they can understand. But make it fun. Every time they come to the pool, they should go back and talk only about their coach. My coach said that, my coach said this. This is what happens with the youngest lot. They don't need to learn too much about this. They just jump into the water, have fun, and come out, right? But as they grow older, you have to slowly start teaching them. Um, during my sessions, I write the workout on the board. I write the workout on the board. Even before we start the session, I explain the warm up. And most of the sessions, I have a general warm up. Other than one or two cases where we have important workouts, I just slightly change the workout. And we explain the workout. And at the same time, as the children grow older, like when they become 13, 14, 15, they have to start understanding what is anaerobic, what is anaerobic, how does it help them, which part of the race does it help them. This is a must, because once the children are about 6 to 8 years into swimming, they should be able to think like coaches, not simply follow instruction. They should know, okay, this workout is for this workout is for this. Last time I did the similar set, I was holding a 110 for freestyle at a 145 repeat. I just have to go faster than 110. At least should be holding 109.5. So this is what becomes easier for you. As they grow older, they should definitely know what the coaching, what the training is.
Just we'll take a minute, Bhushan,
Yeah,
just to get some
I would like to
question for
share
you.
one
Sure,
story
please.
here. See,
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to visit a lot of other centers outside India too. A couple of US colleges, schools, and I had been to Ohio University. There, you know, there is a different head coach for a women's team. There's this different head coach for a men's team. The women's team head coach is quite young, in 30s. In 30s, he's got a board written on it, explains everything, and tells what to do and what not to do. And similarly, head coach for the men's is quite senior, very popular. And I asked him, "Where's your workout? How often do you work out and you come prepared?" He says, "Bhushan, I don't try the workouts. It's in my head. I do it on the fly." So you find varieties of coaches, but ultimately you have to deliver it to your audience. If it is children, it's different. If it's older kids, they're different.
How do you communicate the potential of a swimmer to the parent?
Oh yeah, you can clearly see it. This is what is called as the coach's eye. This is not that everyone can see it. Others can see. We can observe this. The moment you see something moving in the water very well, you immediately call the parent, tell them this particular kid has a lot of potential, and you start planning for the future. You tell them, this I have plans for this particular kid. This guy may reach a national level. This guy may reach a Asian level. This guy may reach a Olympic level. But we need your support and cooperation. And please trust me, we will take care of your kid. We want you to uh, just follow. We will share everything what we want to do with your child. But it's just that we have to tell you that your kid is very potential, and we want your cooperation and commitment towards this. It can be 1 year or 5-year plan.
Okay. There's a question where the coach is asking that sometimes there are situations where a parent is unhappy about the program, and not only are they themselves unhappy, but they spread negativity amongst other parents.
True.
So how does the coach deal with such a situation? This is from Nagpur.
Okay. See, parents being unhappy, unsatisfied is very common. And you can't expect a child to improve each and every time. I told you before, the child will improve in the age of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, irrespective of what training you do, because they're growing. But the challenge is when they become 15 and plus. Here, if the parent is unhappy, please call that particular parent and tell them, have the trust on the program, have the trust on the coach, and please give us some more time. We will take care of the swimmer and make sure that he performs well. But at the same time, tell them to keep, I should not say this, tell them to not speak negative or ill about the center or the program. And if that becomes too serious, then you have no choice other than to take the parent away and ask them to leave and find a different program. That we have to say, we are really sorry, please find a different place.
Okay. Somebody is asking for advice. Hi, sir. What if the head coach not believe in his junior team coaches and creates an environment that the swimmers and parents also do not respect the other junior coaches? What is your view or advice to this situation?
No, I don't say. See, I don't say this. See, generally, I trust my junior coaches. I give them a lot of credits. I give them a lot of freedom. And every Saturday, we have a small coaching program. It's not about anything else. I just want them to learn about the basic freestyle drills and backstroke drills. I tell them, "Aap itna sikhao bas." Just teach them good freestyle. Rest we will take care of. That's the junior coaches. And if the head coach doesn't trust, that means he's not fit to be a head coach. He definitely has to give them the credit. And I told earlier also, you can't go and tell them on the deck. Have a regular coaches training program. Ask them, teach them one skill. We don't want them to learn 100 things in a day. I keep telling them, master one skill in a week. One skill. That's it.
Thank you. Partha, you have any questions identified? I believe you already answered or given
No,
some
Bhushan,
tips on
sorry,
this.
I was
But how
muted.
about somebody is saying, how about involving parents in the active swim program? I don't know what
Okay.
he's trying to ask in terms of involving parents.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I think it's absolutely fine. And I've heard in the US, the parents are supposed to volunteer for 20 hours. 20 hours. Okay. It can be a trial. See, back home, we don't involve them actively in the training program because we have enough staff. We have 9 coaches. We have junior coaches. In case we have a test set or a time trial, we ask them to do it. And beyond that, if we want any help from the parents, we surely ask them. But we will only ask them to get involved, but not interfere.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't see we have any relevant question now, as such.
okay, so maybe one or two questions, Partha.
Yeah,
There
correct.
is a question comment here. The coach is saying everyone is talking about parents, but what about swimmers? Swimmers who are working hard but is not satisfied about his performance, and he feels peer pressure. Then what will be the suggestion? How should the coach handle it?
Yeah. See, this is the similar. See, I'm sure this is in pertaining to an older kid who is in the age of 15, 16, 17, right? They're talking about. But
Possibly.
yeah, this doesn't happen with the young kids because everyone knows that they keep improving. Uh, as coaches, with your experience, you have to sit and talk to them on a very regular basis. Talk to them very often. Tell them you can do it. You can do it. Don't lose hopes. And see, it's not just about your regular training. You have to find a way what works best. Sometimes swimming less may improve. This is what I say. And it's not just the same training. I said, if you're doing the same thing every day, you get the same result every time. So just as you have to find a solution, find a way, what gets the swimmers going forward. Yeah, people are stuck. Say somebody stuck at 57 in a 100 butterfly for 2 years, not improved, but is talented. And the coach says, yes, you can do it, but find something. Work on his underwater, work on his stroke counter, do something like that. And there's always hope of improvement.
Somebody is wanting to ask you, requesting you to repeat what you suggested, your solution for kids moving from one club to another.
Who kids moving from one club to the other?
You covered that topic of
Shifting.
shifting the programs.
Yeah.
So somebody is requesting you to repeat your answer on that.
It's a very common phenomenon these days, and they just keep on shifting. See here, what happens is you have another club, you have your rival swimming there, and just because you won a 1500, they think, oh, that coach is a good long distance coach. Somebody won a 50-meter freestyle, they think, oh, that coach is a sprint coach. Oh, if I go there, I'll get faster. It's not that. You have to have uh, I'll tell you what I do is I have 5 lanes. I actually dedicate each lane for a different speed. One lane is for 115 pace, one lane is for 120 pace, one lane is for 125 pace, one lane is for 130, and the last lane is for a rehab. The kids like, I don't know what to say. it may be like a somebody has not done a good practice, we put them again there, ask them to do it again, something like that. If they want to shift, the only reason is they're not improving. In these cases, you sit and talk to them, give them the confidence that you are with them, tell them, okay, we'll change the plan, we'll try out something new in the dry land, we'll try out something new in the practice, and this way they probably will stick to you. If this continues to happen very often, say 3, 4, 5 times, they completely lose interest, and then they want to shift to another club. And when people come to me, I generally tell them, do not move, please stick to your own coach. Every coach is trying hard to improve their child, but they think, no sir, we have tried our best. If you can't take us, we will stop swimming. In those cases, then we have to admit them. But I prefer you have your own learn to swim program and pick kids from your own into intermediate, so that they become competitive swimmers later stage.